Hello everyone, how's everyone doing? You guys doing good too? I'm doing good too. Let's get today's video session. Here we go. Welcome back to Panasonic Q. Q, Q, Q. Yeah! Hi, to rock and roll music as always. Welcome back to my video session, Panasonic Q Games Console. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the models. Were there one model or there were two models? That's the question here. Because back in the time, some were saying there were two models on it. It's actually true. Even in my previous videos, I've been talking about models. How much information from myself was correct and how much information was correct from back in that time. We're going to be talking about that a bit later on. But first of all, let's go into the original Panasonic Q. What was actually inside the hardware? Specifically now. Seriously. Okay? Hold on. Right. Panasonic Q, right, played GameCube software Japanese region only. So we are talking about the original Panasonic Q. The original Panasonic Q. When you buy it for £499, what do you get without doing anything? Okay? Uh, Plays DVD movies, right? NTSC Region 2. Well, that's what it was. It's NTSC. So it's not a power DVD, is it? Plays video CDs. Okay? Plays retail. Retail ones from the shops. Okay? CDs, CDRs, and CDRWs. So that is, right? Hold on. Let's get something straight here. It says retails here. When we buy audio CDs, these are original CDs, aren't they? But when we talk about CDRs and CDRWs, these are copies. Obviously, you buy all this from the shop. So CDRs and CDRWs are copies of your music CDs. That's really, really good, isn't it? So it was a stainless steel chassis. Okay. I even heard there was like a sturdy handle for lifting on the system as well. You see, if you look on the original Nintendo GameCube, there used to be a handle and you can lift it up and stuff like that. This is the same handle in the Panasonic Q as well. You could do it in this as well. Amazing, isn't it? Yeah, it does that. I think I've said this so many times. I don't know how many times I'm going to keep on saying this. Backlit LCD display for monitoring modes and settings, and also it gives you information. Play, stop, pause. It's all on there like a normal DVD player. Very nice. Okay. Right. So this front-loading tray. It handles two types of discs, which are already mentioned in my previous video. GameCube, which is Nintendo GameCube games. The second discs will be all these ones: DVDs, VCDs, audio CDs, MP3s, including CDR, CDRW. It does a lot. Okay? Because I already told you there's two circles, one in the center and one's outside the big one. Yeah. So you can have two discs in there. Dialogue in answer. That's for the voice, right? And center sounds. I don't normally use that kind of stuff, really. I don't know if you guys use it. You by means you can carry on with it, yeah? Okay. Cinema display modes. Okay? For brighter or darker movie visuals. If you didn't know that, it actually does that. Because the cinema display mode, right? When we talk about cinema mode here, we're not talking about sound. We're talking about video picture here. Okay? What it does, it makes a little bit impact, make it brighter, and you can also make it darker. Yeah, you just press the switch and that's how you do it. Right. There's two surround modes, okay, to widen your normal stereo signals. This one I already mentioned to you previously was the bass plus feature. Deeper low frequency responsible subwoofer and stuff like that. Okay, I'm not gonna go too much into that. So it also has a separate separate subwoofer jack. So what is this subwoofer really for? You know the feature, the button I was talking about, bass plus, right? It utilizes that. It's actually made for that. If you don't connect a subwoofer, the bass plus button is useless. So if you are interested in bass plus, because the bass doesn't come from normal speakers, the bass comes from the subwoofer. Try to understand that as well. So you need to connect the subwoofer to get the bass, and that's how the bass plus button actually would work. Okay, so so some guys probably don't know that, but it does work like that. Okay, right. And the optical out supports the Dolby Digital and TS encoded signals for movies, games, and so on. All right, it does that. There's also the RCA stereo uh, jacks at the bottom. Sorry, at the back of the system, which is a for multiply for room music playback. Okay, you could add more speakers to it and stuff like that, and it gives you a great experience. Also, you gotta put some speakers on there, then you can actually do that. Let's explain a bit more about that. When you connect your optical, right? The optical, right, will be behind your receivers, doesn't it? Because when you have an optical cable going from the Panasonic Q to the receiver, obviously the receiver's got all the satellite speakers and a subwoofer anyway. Can you see what I'm about? If you put an optical cable from Panasonic Q to your receiver, you get 5.1 and subwoofer quality straight away. But if you look at the Panasonic Q, you could put external speakers on there, and it's got a subwoofer jack for bass plus. You see behind the Panasonic Q, which I already showed you some pictures, you could put some speakers on there and a subwoofer. That's a separate speaker system. You have to understand these two things. When you connect to the composite, the two colors, to the audio, right? You connect speakers to that. And there also is a subwoofer jack there. That's for external speakers to the from the Panasonic Q, from the external speakers. It's like that. But when you use a DTS, then you're not using external speakers from Panasonic Q. Then instead you are using the receiver, satellite speakers, and subwoofer. It works like that, all right? So you got two types of options here. One's the DTS and one's the Dolby Logic 5.1. Okay, very good. Right, at the front, there are four controller ports. We already told you all this already. It's coming nothing new here. When you go to the GameCube mode, the four controller port around the circles show you blue LED light. Okay, we're not got too to that. Now, if you look at front of the machine, okay, it has a mirrored faceplate. You can either see your own face or you can see anything um, in front of it. It's, it's amazing. Trust me, it's amazing. And it's protected by polished glass surface. It's been said that this has been coated and been protected very strongly. It's a very strong casing on it. It doesn't get scratched or smudged, nothing like that. It stays in good, high quality the way it is. Okay? Now, you know the blue LED display we've got, right? If you look in there, right, you've got two options. You could select English and Japanese on screen menu. It's searchable. Okay? It does all that kind of stuff. Right? Now we have covered everything to do with the Panasonic Q. What's everything about the system, what's in it, right? From front to back, everything. Now, the next part. The next part is how many models did Panasonic release for the Panasonic Q? Was it one or was it two? That's the question. Even back in the time, some people were frustrated. A lot of people thought there were two versions to the system. Some people are saying that there's two models to it. Even some people on YouTube said that. They go, if you get this model, you get to do a Japanese and US game. I'm afraid that is absolutely rubbish. That's absolutely wrong. Whoever said that in the articles or YouTube videos is clearly wrong. Alright? Originally, the Panasonic Q plays Nintendo GameCube games just in Japanese. Okay? And for your DVD discs, it only plays NTSC Region 2. That's what I just told you today, didn't I? But if you look in some other information, I reckon the NTS Region 2 is wrong. It's wrong. Even I told you this with all the features added in there. Originally, the information was like that. For DVD, right, it plays all regions. Yeah, plays all regions. Let's get this correct again. Let's repeat this once again. The Japanese Panasonic Q in Japanese system, right, plays Nintendo GameCubes in Japanese, okay? And DVD discs, it plays all regions, okay? Do not think it's NTSC region 2. No, it's not right. It's not correct. If I thoroughly understand, this system can play all regions. Well, that's what I heard. When you go to buy the Panasonic Q, ask the seller if he's got a Japanese model, because Japanese models are the only ones they sell, don't they? Because the model, you know what some people say? Check this out. Panasonic Q SL GC10 plays US games and all regions. Because this model plays all that. It seems to me the person doesn't understand what he's talking about. Let's get this clear once and for all. The Panasonic Q SL GC10 is one of the model. What's the second model then? There isn't one. No, there isn't one. There's only one model. Yeah, there's only one model to it. There's only Panasonic Q SL GC10 model. This is the original one that Panasonic made. Okay? I don't know why it says for DVD discs, NTC Region 2, when it's been specified on many websites like eBay, whose the sellers are, even on other websites, it says that DVD discs, they play for more regions. Even some articles say that. Maybe at start it was NTSC Region 2, and maybe the follow-up system they changed it a bit. Yeah, because even people who bought it, I even read that some people go that this is really weird. Why was a Panasonic Q1 like this? They go that he only played Nintendo GameCube from Japanese, and then they go the DVD discs up for played for more regions. Aha, did you see that? Well, some people actually specified in the comments in some of the websites, like in forums and blogs and all that. It's been said that. So there was only one model. Nintendo GameCube games were played in Japanese. And let's get the second part right now. DVD discs were played in all regions. Okay? Not NTSC Region 2. That's not correct. Maybe it was correct when the system was launched. Maybe at a later time, Panasonic must have changed it. So how do you get this thing to do something else? You know what? It only does one thing. You're spending that money just to do one thing. You know what that is? Nintendo GameCube games to play just US versions. That's all it does. Because originally, if you bought any Panasonic Q SLGC10, which is the only model available, it's definitely going to play Nintendo GameCube games in Japanese and DVD discs origins. It's going to do that. So the only thing when you mod the system, which is the same model called the Panasonic Q SLGC10, it's only going to give you to play Nintendo GameCube US versions. Are you really bothered to just to play US versions of these games? If you're a person that want to play Japanese and US games, then you'll have to get it modified. There's another alternative to Nintendo GameCube. If anybody owns a Windows PC, you can play most majority of these PAL and US games on the emulation, right? There are some games on Nintendo GameCube, right, which are only available just in Japan. So you can get these games, right, and play them on the original Panasonic Q, which just plays Japanese games. You can take this path if you want to do that. I think is the best way of doing it. Because if you know how to do emulation, you can get PAL US games for free. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, you can get these. You could have gone this emulator called Nintendo Dolphin on the PC, and you can get PAL US games for free. But on the other side, which the original Panasonic Q just played Nintendo GameCubes in Japanese, you can get them games that are just available just in Japan. Well, I can give you one of the games, right? Winning 11-6. Uh, Star Soldier. Games of like that you can get. And I think some of the games like Bleach, Naruto, and Dragon Ball Z, they're better in Japanese anyway. They're much better because it's the original language. The actual games perform better than the English versions, in my opinion. So it's best to get some of these Japanese games on the Panasonic Q, which you can originally play anyway. And the rest of the PAL and US games, you can play on Nintendo Dolphin emulator on the PC for free. You could take that path. It's really good. So the Panasonic Q um, SLGC10 was only just one model, the original one made from Panasonic, which was in Japanese, and then the same Japanese model was modified through the import shops. Yeah, it was modified through them. There were some shops, even in the UK, who used to modify it. Because if they import shops, they could do it for you. You don't need to go on other like countries and send the system to them. No, it's not like that. Because what these companies were doing in the UK, they had, I think, the original one for 499, and I think the modified was either 550 or 599, something like that. £50 or £100 extra. They had the modified versions as well. So if you wanted to do that, you wouldn't buy the original Panasonic Q. You'll buy the modified one. They'll give you that one. Whatever's modified in there is just like Nintendo GameCube in US. That's all was really in there. Because at a later stage, the DVD discs was playing Origins originally, without even modified. And the other thing is that I think you don't have any issues with VCDs, audio CDs, CDRs, CDRWs, and MP3 discs. Okay, audio CDs are original, but the CDRs and CDRWs and MP3s are copies, aren't they? People just make copies by using the PC programs, and they just record any track they want on the disc, don't they? Because the original discs are Nintendo GameCube ones, um, DVD, audio CDs. These are original discs, aren't they? That you buy from shops. But CDRs, CDRWs, and MP3 CDs are copy discs, aren't they? You're just putting your own tracks and recording these discs. That's what you're doing. So yeah, this is pretty interesting to know now what is going on. Or Panasonic Q, how many versions they really had. It's all now covered for you. So tomorrow session, we're going to be looking at the original Panasonic Q DVD remote control, which has Japanese writing all over the remote control. I am going to be telling you each button translate in English, right? So tomorrow's video is going to be from Japanese to English translation. So we're going to look at the remote control. We're going to point at each button. You see the faceplate this Panasonic Q DVD remote control uses. It's got Japanese writing on there. Okay? So you wouldn't know unless you're going to be guessing the buttons. You might mess up the disc if you did that. So I'm going to explain thoroughly, right, what each of the buttons are in English for you. Okay? So if you guys are English out there, so you would know what these buttons really are. Just memorize them and stuff like that. But it's hard to get an English faceplate on the Panasonic Q DVD remote control. I think there is. It's quite difficult to get one. If you can find one, by means get one. But if you can't, you'll have to watch my video then. Just memorize each button. Once you memorized it, you won't forget anyway. So I hope you guys like my video for today. So watch out for tomorrow's Panasonic Q DVD remote control Japanese to English translation. This will be really interesting for English guys out there. So yeah, so do check that out from today. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. It's been specified how many models of Panasonic Q there was. SLGC10, there's only one. The same one was modded, and that's all. So hope you like my video today. Give your likes, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.